Coming live from the Tennessee Valley Radio Show. It's the No More Dirty Radio Show. It's the No More Dirty Radio Show.
Man, what's up? Welcome to the No More Dirty Show. Hey, what's up, Coach? Did I do all right, baby?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be part of the show. So let me tell you about this show. This show is the No More Dirty Radio Show. Mm-hmm. The number one singing and Christian hip-hop radio program in all of North America. Mm-hmm. North of the universe. North of the multiverse, if I understand
correctly, the multi. That means everywhere there is communication level, we're there. Hey, what's up?
You show me the science behind that. Science behind that.
Yo, who else we got in the building? Sam, what's up, baby?
We got the top gospel DJ Sam Smite, the inspirational DJ here.
That's what's up. And we also are in the building on the engineering, breaking it down, dropping beats too as well.
Your country cat folk DJ Scissorhands, man. How y'all doing?
Good, well, man. How's everybody's week been? Good? Been great? Hey, man, let's give them some of the flip the script. We got a lot of great people in the building.
Absolutely. The flip the script this week is coming from Micah, chapter 6, and verse 8. And it reads, but he already made it plain how to live, what to do, what God is looking for in men and women. It is quite simple. Do what is fair and just to your neighbor. Be compassionate and loyal in your love. And don't take yourself too seriously. Take God seriously.
Wow, love that. And I love that message Bible version. We have some really great special guests. I'm going to introduce one of our first guests. It's our Alabama State Representative, Laura Hall. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm even better that you in the building. You on our show. Lord have mercy. Praise ye the Lord. Listen, why don't you share what that means to you, and we're going to get a prayer, and we're going to introduce everybody else after this song.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and this is one of the verses that I feel that speaks to me daily in terms of hopefully how I live, in terms of doing things and making sure that those things that I do, even as a legislator, it is not because I'm so great, but it's because it is because the Lord has blessed me and has guided me to get to the point where I am today. The part about don't take it too seriously when you have an issue certainly is helpful, because at many times you can find you're in a situation or about to take a vote and that seriousness just comes over you and you're wondering if you're making the right decision, and once you've made the decision somebody else has felt that you didn't, and so you can't. I tell people all the time, try not to take it personal. Remember, it's just an issue. And the Lord has provided for me that type of attitude to remember that when I am attacked, they're not attacking me, even though I feel like they are. They're really attacking the issue. And so I am blessed each day that I have an opportunity to serve the people of District 19.
Wow. Well, listen, we appreciate you. And I'm going to throw a prayer up, and we're going to there's a song by Raw B, and it's called Favor Ain't Fair. You can get mad, but it ain't fair. It is going to be fair, because if God is with you, then who can be against you? God, we want to say thanks again for allowing us to understand your favor. Thank you for having all of our guests on today. We ask that you'll be with us as we learn more about understanding the initiatives of voting, how we in the urban communities and postmodern communities can become engaged, Lord. And we can make changes in this, our now generation and our now season. In the name of Christ Yeshua that we pray. Amen. Hey, listen, we got some amazing guests in the building. We're going to start with our second amazing guest. Coach Joe, why don't you do that? Do the honors, my man.
Yes, one of the guests that we have is the Honorable Congresswoman Terri, Sewell, and she is now in her 5th term representing Alabama's 7th Congressional District. Wow. And she is also one of the first women to be elected to Congress from Alabama.
Oh, wait. We gotta put our hands together. Come on now. We gotta put our hands together, y'all. Woo! Sisters in the building, baby. Yes, we also have an artist in the building. Who's in the building, man? Y'all gonna know when you hear his voice. What's up, bro?
What's going on, family? How you doing, brother? Fred?
You already know. Jordan, a.k.a. Chill City. Don't forget to #, doggone it, more. What up, bro?
Please Please, man, I'm cool, man. It's definitely an honor, once again, to be on the show, man. It's always a pleasure.
Well, you know, you family, brother. You a family. And then we got to say a special thanks to two young ladies who actually connected the dots here. And I'm going to just say kudos to my friend and yours now, Kathy Jones and Robin Buckalow. Hey, why don't you say a few words to them?
Hey, we're really glad to be here. Thank you for having this show and bringing all of us together to learn more about voting, because that's what we care about.
Amen. So here we go. Miss Robin?
This is a really exciting day for us to see this all come together. I just want to see that DRA done.
So we're going to get right in. Laura Hall, let's talk about this. And then I also want our Congresswoman to step in and share a little bit. What inspired you to do the reenactment of the bridge crossing? Come on, let's talk about that. That was huge. Could you share a little bit about that?
Well, that really came about with the conversation that I was having with one of my legislative colleagues from Kentucky during a meeting that we attended in December. We were inviting members of the NBCSL, National Black Caucus State Legislators, to come to Selma this year, in March. And so his thought, we talked about it, he said, but there are a number of people who would not be able to go. I think we should do something to help them to understand the impact of what the Voting Rights Act was about, how it came about, and how important that march was for the Voting Rights Act. And so it really became from an idea really instilled in me from Gerald Neal in Kentucky, Senator Gerald Neal. What I found was the people here in Huntsville were so receptive to the idea, wanted to do it, and even though they could not come to Selma, they had an opportunity at the same time that the Selma March was taking place. They were a part of it, and yet had an opportunity to talk about the importance of the Voting Rights Act and what we needed to do as elected officials and as citizens in terms of voting to make sure that the people that were on that bridge that Sunday, that their life and their work was not in vain.
Wow, that is powerful. Now, Congresswoman, you said that this was a spinoff of what you're doing. Why don't you share what you're doing before we go to this song? Because this song is a tribute to all those black and brown young men and women that were murdered innocently, injusticely. But we need to know a little bit more about why you're doing what you're doing in terms of the outgrowth from the Selma March.
Well, let me just say it's an honor and privilege to be on the show with State Representative Laura Hall. She's been a wonderful mentor and friend over the years. And she and I both represent a generation of black elected officials that only had an opportunity to represent our communities because of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. I'm honored every day to represent Alabama's 7th Congressional District, which includes Birmingham, my hometown of Selma, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and 9 counties of the Black Belt. Wow. I'd love to say that my district is America's civil rights district, and it was because of the ordinary people in my district from Alabama that had the temerity to want to make this nation live up to its ideals of equality and justice for all that we had that march. Bloody Sunday was the first Sunday in March in 1965, and it led to, as many of you all know, people were bludgeoned like John Lewis on that bridge, Amelia Plankton Robinson, and so many other freedom fighters that because of that march, we now have the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So Alabama brought us the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and then it summarily in 2013 brought us the case, the seminal legislation that gutted the Voting Rights Act. Now, states like Alabama can change its voting laws without having it be pre-cleared by the Justice Department, the federal oversight. And so what we're witnessing is that states across this nation have made it harder for people to vote.
Wow.
So while we no longer have poll taxes and literacy tests, we have modern forms of discrimination, of voter suppression. When states decide that a federal ID, like a Social Security card, Alabama used to accept that as a form of ID to vote. But now you have to show a special voter ID or a driver's license, even a hunting license. So state legislatures across this country have made it harder for people to vote. So I'm honored every day to represent this district and know that part of my job is text and further this legacy. So I have the seminal piece of legislation, the Voting Rights Advancement Act, which seeks to restore the voting rights protections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Wow.
I'm so honored that Congresswoman reenacted this as well, and we're almost to the 55th anniversary of the day that law was passed. August 6th, 1965 is when it was passed.
Wow. Congresswoman, let's get right back in. So what do we need to know about this bill that you have put on the table? So everybody listens, 350,000 households listening, not including social media platform, nor just the website. What do we need to do right now?
So what we need to know is that our vote is under attack. The reality is that without federal oversight, state legislatures across the state, including Alabama, changed their voting laws right after the 2013 decision. And so Alabama, it used to be that you could go to the polls and show your Social Security card or a utility bill. Now, all of a sudden, they went from 15 forms of ID to 9 forms of ID. And they've also imposed very strict requirements on absentee voting. So voting, your voice is your vote. In our representative democracy, the best way that we can participate in our democracy is voting, as well as filling out a census forms as well. But we're talking about voting here, and just so grateful to the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this today, and for Representative Hall to being on here as well. We want everybody to know that you have to have a plan to vote. During this pandemic, when we're experiencing being safer at home, you know, if you decide that you're going to vote by absentee ballot, you've got to know the deadline, when your application for your absentee ballot is due, and what's required in order to get your absentee ballot. In Alabama, we don't have no excuse absentee ballot. You have to have an excuse. So I think the biggest excuse, of course, is this coronavirus. So that's a medical excuse for voting by absentee. But you also have to turn in a copy of your photo ID. And, of course, when you receive your ballot, you've got to have it witnessed by 2 people or by a notary. So Alabama makes it hard to do absentee balloting.
Yeah.
And we know that you're safe for voting at home during this pandemic. I just want folks to know that they have to have a plan to vote. If you're going to vote in person, make sure that you are still registered to vote at your polling station. All of that can be checked on the Secretary of State's website. But I know that we have a very important presidential election November 3rd, but we also have municipal elections August 25th as well. And so we just want people to know that your vote is your voice, and we want you to exercise your voice in every election.
Awesome. State Representative Laura Hall, do you have anything you want to share?
Well, thank you. And I know in addition to the plan for voting, the individual having a plan for voting, I do think that responsibilities with organizations such as League of Women Voters certainly play an important role in helping us to remind us and remind others about when voting, registering to vote, and the process. Because if we could start now with the process with those individuals who would like to vote early or vote absentee, that if we have as organizations having a plan to assist in making sure that is as easy as possible, certainly will make a difference in our voter turnout.
Awesome. We're wrapping this thing up, but we cannot, because there are individuals that have had a record. You know what I'm saying? That maybe they're trying to figure out, can I vote? I know in the state of Alabama that if you had a pass, felons, they can vote. What is that information, Kathy? I would like for you to give the information so they can call directly and get the information. And folk who have never voted, what do they need to do? You have a mobile voting process. So let's talk about, give us those numbers. Kathy?
All right. Okay. If anyone has questions about accessing the online voter registration form or absentee ballot applications, they can call us at 256-203-6827. And once again, that number is 256-203-6827, and the League of Women Voters is here to help.
All right, Kathy, one more time, just for those that write a little slower than others, what's the area code first again?
256
203
and 6827.
6827. Big ups to you all. You all have set a bar that now people can actually reach. So we want to say thank you so much. Kathy, thank you so much. Robin, thank you. We could not have put this star-studded group of people that are seriously intentional about making a change. Now I'm gonna ask Chill City, why don't you jump in, man? Because tomorrow we're not done. This is just today, but tomorrow, what's going on tomorrow? What are you doing in conjunction with these ladies?
Hey, peace. Myself, along with two other artists, which is Alex Banks, the saxophone player, and Sammy Murray, which is a songwriter, and an actress. We're putting on a concert, and it's really to eliminate as many excuses as possible of individuals in our communities or just worldwide not having the information to get registered to vote, to find out information about the absentee ballot. So we partnered up with the League of Women Voters of Tennessee Valley, and we're using the tool of music, which is the universal language, just to bring everyone together and create some type of incentive to get people not only registered to vote, but to actively engage in voting in this upcoming election. And that's going to be happening on August 3rd. And you can find out more information on Facebook and Instagram. And Facebook is going to be Jordan Chill City Moore, and also on Instagram at The Official Chill City. It's going to be a live performance, and you don't want to miss it.
And let me tell you something, my man he the truth, bruh. And that's tomorrow, so it's not like it's gonna be next week. Listen, today is the 2nd, tomorrow's the 3rd. You ain't got no excuse. Go ahead. What time again, bro?
It's gonna be 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, Facebook and Instagram Live.
All right, ladies, we want to say thank you so much, my man Chill City. So in very quick closing, we want to give the time for our Congresswoman and also for our state representative before we play Chill City's brand new song. We about to break it on a doggone vote situation. What's up, Congresswoman? Can you give us closing?
Sure. I just want to remind your listening audience that the price of freedom is not free. We have to, in every situation, fight to make sure that we keep the progress that we've made and continue to do that by voting. The best way that we can ensure that we have the freedoms that we enjoy is that we help choose representatives that will use our values and develop policies that will help all of us. So let's just remember, the struggle is a never-ending process. The price of freedom is not free. We pay for it, and we can pay for it by doing a down payment and voting in every election.
Wow.
It's critically important.
Wow. State Representative Laura Hall.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you to the League of Women Voters and Congresswoman Sewell. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule. I am a product of the civil rights movement, so voting is just in my DNA. I had no idea as I participated at that time. It is the reason that I am able to represent the people of House District 19. I agree that your vote is your voice. And if you don't vote, you find yourself voiceless. So voting is your voice.
Yo, on behalf of your boy, Minister Fred II, don't you ever call me Junior, and my man, Coach.
Coach Joe. DJ Sam Smite, the inspirational DJ.
And your country kin folk DJ Scissorhands.
Hey, this is a shout out to every artist that got Bible beats and bars. Let me tell y'all something. If you're not out there voting, but you dropping albums, shame on you. Because you know what? Like Chill City, what's the name of that song? Chill City, let's give it to him, bro.
Stop killing us.
There it is. We'll see you. Please, we'll see you next week.
Stop killing. How you feeling, chill? Besides the murders, I'm great. Seeing growth in my craft, but this crooked world ain't straight. Cop kill another brother and he on his way. Watch my people come together, but over the death rate. Wow. Racial profiling at an all-time high. You get it if he got a badge and you won't know why. Kids can't be a kid cause they can't go outside. End up in handcuffs or outlined in chalk outside. And they wonder why we looting the shooting. So many years of oppression, the people bound to get foolish. Can't even wake up in the morning without seeing something ruthless. No one can say that they clueless. This word is watching the blueprint. Where the artist at that's taking a stand. Not the ones that's getting caught up in this trend here, man. I'm talking ones with some solutions, not just posting a pic. You got a whole platform, but you just posting a pic, man.
It's like we see this all the time.